Welcome to Bhagwan Ki Baatein, the YouTube channel where we talk only and only about God. In the ongoing series, Stories of Great Saints, we are narrating some of the episodes from the life of the great Bhakt Narsi Mehta. So people who have been listening to the series regularly try and connect to the previous capsule to know what happened as we move forward. So the clothes with which the bridegroom was to be honored on the outskirts of the town were of small worth, and so Tripurantak felt ashamed in his mind. Understanding this, the Lord of Vaikunt said to Tripurantak, "An innumerable number of people have come to the wedding. I see that your mind is perplexed by this. Now, when preparing the banquet of tasty things, one should not put much salt into the food. One should not form any relationship with one who is greater than oneself. One should not give money at the interest to the king of one's own town. So one should not give one's daughter to form a relationship with one greater than oneself. Who is liable to discuss the verses of a chief poet? So one should not form relationship with one of higher rank than oneself. Just as when the sun arises, the moon appears to fall, so seeing the wealth of Narsi Mehta, you feel hesitant in your mind. The preparations made by you can only be for a very few, and yet innumerable people have arrived for the wedding." After saying this to him, the Lord of Vaikunt advised him as follows. Krishna said to Tripurantak, "Whatever materials are possible for you, bring them here and carry to completion the marriage arrangement. All siddhis are favorable here. Put what little you have into it. Do not keep in your mind any sense of duality through doubt. The knots of relationship are as strong as those of silken threads. Consider the question from the point of view of knowledge and hold in your mind no sense of duality." Seeing that, he agreed. He returned to the city and brought the materials for the wedding together with the bride. King Bhimak, whose bhakti was perfect, having agreed to offer his daughter in marriage to Sri Krishna, lovingly came to Mul Madhav for the wedding. In the same way, Tripurantak, putting aside all mental opposition, came there with the bride and all the materials for the wedding. When a little streamlet joins the Ganges, who is there who call it unholy? So when the life of the world accepts anyone, no pious person lacks anything. So the marriage was performed with great eclat, and the band played sweet music. Turmeric powder was applied to the bride and the bridegroom. The wedding was carried on in the most elaborate way. Gods were installed and Brahmins were feasted with many forms of dainty food. And God himself offered gifts of money to the Brahmins. Shri Krishna offered clothes with love to Narsi Mehta. At the setting of the sonts, Brahmins repeated the 8 auspicious verses of marriage ceremony. When the Durvas persecuted Ambrish, God's supreme dweller of Vaikunt suffered 10 births. May he protect the bride and the bridegroom. He, at the repeating of whose name all sins were burnt up, dweller of Dwarika and the delight of the heart, may he protect this bride and the bridegroom. He whom Brahmadev and the other gods, including Shiva, continually contemplate in their hearts. He, the lover of his bhaktas, Lord of the heart, may he protect this bride and the bridegroom. O God Supreme, the Eternal One, who reclinest on Shesh, in the ocean of milk, husband of Lakshmi, life of the world, protect this bride and bridegroom. With these 8 verses, the Brahmins performed the marriage. Instruments gave out their sweet music, and the drums were beaten. Because of the Lord of Vaikunt was present, there appeared no lack of anything. And in this offering of the daughter, gifts without limit were made to Brahmins. To all the citizens of the village, a banquet was given as they desired, and to the bride and bridegroom were given beautiful ornaments, garments, and adornments. Blessed are the people who were assembled there, for they saw Narayan. It was the life of the world who completed all arrangements for both parties. With great eclat, the procession of bridegroom walked the streets. The sound of instruments was heard, and the 4 deliverances came and fell at their feet. Rockets of all kinds were let off and guns were fired. 8 dancing women sang and danced, and the Vaishnav repeated aloud the names of Hari. After many festivities, Mother Rukmani performed the ceremony of looking at the face of the daughter-in-law. At this, the wife of Narsi Mehta was amazed. For 5 days, the marriage ceremony continued, and the life of the world Sri Krishna gave gifts to the party of the bride, offering them garments and ornaments. The Lord of Vaikunt then said to Tripurantak, "You have now become a relative of Bhakt of Vishnu, and in the midst of the domestic affairs, you've also seen the supreme spiritual riches." After the marriage was the bridegroom party returned to Junagadh, and Narsi Mehta continued joyfully to sing the greatness of Sri Krishna. Lord of the world whispered to Narsi Mehta, whenever any distress comes to you, think of me." Having said this, the husband of Rukmani returned to Dwarika. So with these words, we end this small capsule here, and we'll carry on with the story of Narsi Mehta in the next capsule. Until then, goodbye, good luck, and Sadar Pranam.